Hey there, welcome back to another video. This time around, it is yet another DVD and Blu-ray update. I have another series of stacks of DVDs and Blu-rays that I picked up fairly recently, and I just want to go through them. So let's start with some DVDs. Let's actually start with the complete series of The Incredible Hulk with Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno. Got a good deal on this from a Facebook group. This has all 5 seasons of this show. I remember seeing a few episodes on Sci-Fi Channel when I was a kid or a teenager, and I remember not minding it for what it was. So I've always wanted to actually check this entire series out. I just never really was able to find the show in its entirety for a good price. But so we have season 1 of The Incredible Hulk, season 2. This is also a pretty fairly new DVD box set. This is from 2017. So it's a pretty modern release compared to the original releases of this. I like the fact that these are a little bit more compact than the original releases were. And then there's season 5. Now these also features this set features some genuine special features on it, some documentaries, some commentaries for select episodes. So yeah, so that's the Incredible Hulk TV series, the complete series. Now I also, one more thing before I talk about more Hulk, is that before Marvel was known for the MCU, Marvel was struggling to gain any kind of foothold in television, let alone cinema. They had some cartoons and stuff like that, but they really were struggling to be taken seriously. Then The Incredible Hulk comes along, and it's a smash hit TV show, and it was one of the first things to really give Marvel some credibility. So it's a show that definitely does show its age in some aspects, and so on and so forth. But for the time and for what they had to work with, it's not a bad show. I remember actually liking it. I think a big part of it is Bill Bixby is so good as Bruce Banner, or in this case, David Banner, because they didn't want to call him Bruce for some reason. And Lou Ferrigno, he has the physical presence and the stature to be the Hulk. Keep in mind, this is the 70s. They didn't have CGI. They couldn't actually have any other transformation into the Hulk other than some big muscular dude in green paint. That being said, I think the stories are really well written from what I've seen, and I'm really looking forward to checking this show out sometime. Now, there were some TV movies that featured Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno reprising their roles from the show. And I've had this for a while. I just decided to break it out again because I thought it was topical. So this is Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno and The Incredible Hulk. This is an Anchor Bay box set that has the first 2 TV movies, The Incredible Hulk Returns and The Trial of The Incredible Hulk. This is one of the better releases of these 2 films you can get, because you have a new interview with Lou Ferrigno that's exclusive to this set, as well as a documentary, I think, about Lou Ferrigno in his life called Stand Tall. And there's an interview with Stan Lee as well. Includes a booklet. Interesting setup with how the discs are put into the case, as if it's like a comic book sort of panel deal. And then they all are right here. This is an Anchor Bay release, so it's out of print. So I don't know if it's worth anything or not. But I know that it's definitely out of print because Anchor Bay isn't really a company that's producing any new stuff anymore. So there's those TV movies. And in the same sets, he also, the same package deal that I got the TV show in, he sent me The Death of the Incredible Hulk, which is the third and final TV movie and the last appearance of Bill Bixby on camera as David Banner, and as well as Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk. And this particular DVD is pretty, if I remember correctly, it's kind of rare and out of print, so glad to have that. This wasn't included in that. He sent another double feature disc, but it's only on one disc, so the picture quality is a little bit worse. It's a fairly recent Lakeshore Entertainment release. But yeah, that's The Incredible Hulk, the complete set. All of the movies and all of the seasons of the show. Now, we get to some more DVDs. These are from various different places. Most of these I got from a thrift store. Some of these I got from an antique mall and a pawn shop. So we have The Other Side of the Door. Now, I don't know if I've shown these or not. If there are some moments of deja vu in this video, I apologize. 13, Game of Death. I thought it looked interesting. I liked the concept behind it. 13 challenges, $100 million. What would you do? Saved for Macaulay Culkin. And I like black comedies, so I thought I'd pick that up. Warhorse. Just to see, for Steven Spielberg, as much as I do have an issue with the way he's handled some things in his career, I am a fan of his work, and I've heard about this one. I've just never seen it. Mr. Destiny with James Belushi and Linda Hamilton and Michael Caine. John Lovitz also has a bit role. And I like James Belushi. I might have said Jim Belushi. Well, I mean, yeah, I like both of them. Actually, John, I like John. So he goes by Jim and James. I don't understand. It's kind of confusing. Sometimes he goes by James Belushi. Then he goes by Jim Belushi. I remember him more as Jim Belushi, not as James Belushi. But that's just me personally. Brother of John Belushi. But I don't mind him. It looks like it might be kind of a fun movie. Christoph Waltz in The Zero Theorem for the Terry Gilliam collection. Love at Large with Tom Berenger, Elizabeth Perkins, and Ann Archer. A made-for-TV disaster movie combo pack with Aftershock, Earthquake in New York, Flood, Rivers, Rampage, Tornado, and Flood. Mainly got this for Tornado because it features Bruce Campbell in a Twister knockoff. So I wanted to check that out. Rough Riders, a complete miniseries that's based on the Rough Riders that Theodore Roosevelt put together. And this is an interesting flick because of the cast. You got Tom Berenger, Sam Elliott, Gary Busey. I said flick, but really it's a miniseries. It was made for TNT. It was a TNT original. But also another reason why is it's directed by John Milius, who directed Conan the Barbarian and other films. So I'm curious to see that. Check it out sometime. I Killed Giants. I saw the trailer for it. Looked like it might be interesting. I kind of like the concept behind it. So that's that for those. I still got more DVDs and Blu-Rays and some 4Ks. The Martian Chronicles. I know this has a newer release, but I was fine with picking this up. It actually looks pretty decent for an old MGM DVD. Heard about this. I know it's based on Ray Bradbury's work, so I wanted to give that a shot. When time ran out for the Disaster movie collection. The trailer for this movie is hilarious. It's not included on this DVD, but the trailer alone has made me want to see this film. It's one of the last disaster movies that Irwin Allen produced, and Sterling Silverfont helped write. I don't know if he directed it as well. No, James Goldstone directed this one. So when time ran out, The Presence. Been trying to get this on DVD for a while now, for the collection. This is a cable movie, I think, or a TV movie featuring Kathy Ireland and Joe Lara, and it's directed by Tommy Lee Wallace. It's The Presence, Guardian Angel with Cynthia Rothrock for the Cynthia Rothrock collection. I honestly really do like a lot of her films. It's just fun B-movie, martial arts, entertainment. Jabberwocky for the Terry Gilliam collection. White Knights, a film I've heard a lot about but I've never seen. Who Wants to Be a Superhero, the complete first season. I actually remember watching this when it originally aired. So Stan Lee's superhero reality show. So I'm looking forward to checking that out again. And that's the season I remember. I don't even think I even saw season 2. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with Jack Palance as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And this is apparently, I think this is like a BBC original TV movie from, I think, like the 60s or something. Like, it's an old movie. Bustin' Loose for the Richard Pryor collection. Alien Raiders. Look like it might be kind of interesting. Second to Die for the John Wesley Ship collection. Erica Leniak is in it. John Wesley Ship apparently is barely even in this movie. But I didn't pay a whole lot for it, and I like John Wesley Ship, so I want to see what he could bring to the role. Tiger House. Look like it might be a fun home invasion movie. Shuttle. I've seen the trailer for this. I've heard about this concept, and it definitely has intrigued me. So I was glad to pick that up. It's people. Soylent Green is people. Soylent Green. Here we have State of Grace. Another drama that I've heard a lot of good things about. I mainly got it for the cast and because I've heard a lot of good things about this one. It's got a lot of critical acclaim, and I've never actually seen it. The State of Grace. Contaminated Man for the Peter Weller collection. Peter Weller has a role in this, and William Hurt is also in the movie. The film honestly has a plot line that sounds pretty intriguing. Also, this is pretty topical right now. The Contaminated Man. I mean, who would have thunk, right? Stripped to Kill. I know there's a sequel, but I only saw the first one where I picked this up from, so I decided to grab this. This is Scorpion releasing DVD. It's a pretty good transfer for a DVD. Has an audio commentary with the director Kat Shea and star Kay Lenz. It also has a commentary with just Kat Shea, and it has some interviews with Kat Shea and Roger Corman. So, Stripped to Kill. Go. This is a Mill Creek Entertainment DVD. This one actually looked like it might be a fun Wild Gonzo movie. And when I got this, it was completely unopened. I opened it, of course, so I could see what the picture quality was like. This is a Mill Creek release, and it was decent. Season 1 of Picket Fences. The reason why I picked this up is because I did some research about the X-Files, and that there was going to be a planned spin-off or tie-in to this show. So then I decided to do some digging and see what the hell this show was even about. And I read up on it, and I was like, this sounds like a really crazy, fun show. Um, Deals with the daily life in Rome, Wisconsin, where the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz is murdered. A student brings a severed hand to school for show and tell, and a woman runs over her husband with a steamroller, pleading not guilty by the reason of menopause. Sheriff Jimmy Brock has seen it all. Indeed, behind the tidy picket fences of this quirky little town lie all the same problems and prejudices found in the big city, except here everyone seems to know everyone else's business, or thinks they do. Now, this show, I think it lasted for 5 seasons, and it was a pretty popular show, but there's only one season that is available that was released in the US that is easy to even find or locate. Which, it's could be honestly really frustrating if I wind up liking this show, because then I'm going to be like, how the hell am I going to see the rest of this show without getting a loan to buy the other seasons? But anyway, that's Picket Fences. I also got a couple more seasons of The Simpsons. I just didn't want to show those because I put them up in storage somewhere. I believe it's season 8 and 9. So I have the first 9 seasons of The Simpsons now on DVD. And if I remember correctly, the season 9 is what a lot of fans point to when the show started to, well, at least after season 9 is when the show started to take a dive in terms of quality. So, decided, all right, I'll just pause on collecting the seasons with season 9. But if I see season 10 or any of the other seasons for cheap, I'll probably pick them up. Speaking of cheap, this is the reason why I got some of these. Spy on Blu-ray, because I actually liked this movie. Jason Statham was funny. I thought he was hilarious. Rose Byrne was good too as the villain. Melissa McCarthy, she was more tolerable here. And as much as I bagged and ragged on Paul Feig in the past, I still think he did not handle the Ghostbusters backlash well at all. He still isn't handling it well. He's handling it like a butt-hurt baby. But Paul Feig has done some films that I actually don't mind, along with Melissa McCarthy, that I find to be some of the more entertaining, enjoyable comedies in recent years, and Spy is one of them. So I was like, sure, I'll pick it up for the collection. I only had it on DVD anyway. The Evil Dead remake. Sometime in October, I'm going to revisit the Evil Dead films, and I'm going to review them along with Halloween films and maybe some other random stuff. But I wanted to give this another shot, so I decided to pick up the Blu-ray. Plus, I got it for really cheap. Prince of Persia, Sands of Time, with Jake Gyllenhaal. I've actually never seen this one. I know it's a video game movie, and I've actually heard it's not that bad. So I was like, all right, sure, for the collection. Scott Pilgrim versus the World on Blu-ray. I only had it on DVD. I want to see this for the visuals and the concept. I've heard mixed things about this. I've heard it's a classic. I've heard it sucks and it's overrated. I'd like to see for myself how I actually feel about this movie. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Here we have the Underworld films. I got a really good deal on these. I got these all 5 of these on Blu-ray from a seller on Facebook. It was like $15 shipped. It was a crazy good deal. So he sent me the Underworld Legacy Collection, which includes Underworld, the first film, Underworld Evolution, which is the second one, Underworld Rise of the Lycans, which is a prequel, and Underworld Awakening. Now, there's a 5th one, and that one is Underworld Blood Wars. Now, I didn't have any of these on Blu-ray until I picked up this deal, so I was all for that. Kick-Ass 2. I actually have not seen Kick-Ass 2, and I love Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass is one of my favorite comic book films, and I have yet to see Kick-Ass 2. Why? Well, I heard some mixed things about it, and I guess it just kind of... I mean, it's not a good sign when there are no critical reviews at all on this cover. There's none whatsoever. But I definitely do want to give it... I want to give it a fair shot one of these days, and I would like to revisit Kick-Ass. Kill Bill and Kill Bill Volume 2. Part of me thinking I might have these already, but it was super cheap, and one of them was completely brand new and unopened. So yeah, Kill Bill films. Here we have Akin. This is essentially like there was a movie called, I think it's called Deadly Weapon or Laser Blast. Both of them have similar plot lines, Deadly Weapon and Laser Blast. And it deals with a similar kind of thing where a kid finds a space weapon. And I don't know. I saw the trailer for this and it looked like it might kind of be interesting. And Dennis Quaid is in it as part of the cast, and it was cheap, so I decided sure I'll pick it up. Torso. Looked like it might be a decent throwback horror slasher kind of movie. 999. Coming to America, the special collector's edition on Blu-ray, only had the DVD. I really like this movie. It's one of my favorite Eddie Murphy films. I know it's getting a 4K Blu-ray recently, coming out like in the next, I think, month or two or something. But I'm fine with the Blu-ray. I don't really need Coming to America in 4K unless somebody sends it to me as a gift. Vanishing Point. Always liked this cover art. I always thought it was really cool. Never seen the film though. Collateral, one of Tom Cruise's best films and one of Jamie Foxx's best movies. If you want another film to show people that Tom Cruise can act, show them Collateral. Speaking of Paul Feig comedies, The Heat, my favorite of his. I thought this was hilarious. I really enjoyed this one. I've seen this quite a few times, and I really have a lot of fun with this one. It's one of my favorite. I would say it's my favorite Melissa McCarthy movie. A big part of it is that Sandra Bullock plays such a great straight woman to her craziness. So, yeah, The Heat. Then we have The Haunting in Connecticut. And Sin City, a Steelbook Blu-ray with Jessica Alba on the cover. And on the back you have Bruce Willis and the gang. So, still not done yet. Still got a few more Blu-rays. Let's go with some of these 4Ks. So here's the 4K Blu-rays that I picked up recently. Stand By Me. It honestly looks really good. And I got a good deal. It's like, what, $12.99 or something. Pitch Black. The Arrow video release. This is the definitive release of the film in terms of the transfer and special features. But if you don't have a 4K player, you can pick up the Blu-ray and you should be fine. If you're a fan of this one, I definitely do recommend picking up the Arrow release, whether it's the 4K or the Blu-ray. I know it doesn't have the slipcover. There was a big stink about it. There was a reason for it. There was some error in the manufacturing plant or something, and they weren't able to have them for this release. I could care less because I care more about the disc anyway, so I'm fine with that. Pitch Black. Halloween, the original. I love this film. It's a classic. It's great. I'm really looking forward to revisiting this and reviewing and watching all of the Halloween films this October. And I'm actually going to finish that. I'm not going to start it and then not finish it. I'm going to finish it. I will be reviewing every single Halloween film. At the very least, the one thing that I'm definitely going to be doing this October is all of the Halloween movies. And I'll probably be doing new reviews of even the ones I've reviewed in the past. Might delete the older reviews because like what's really the point at this point? Except maybe keep the review of the first one up. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I'm looking forward to checking it out in 4K. It looked good from what I saw. So Halloween, keeping with the horror theme, we got Doctor Sleep, which I will probably be doing this and The Shining, and maybe some other Stephen King films as well in for the horror marathon in October. Because I do want to do some Stephen King films. The plan was initially to do a ton of Stephen King films in September, but things just kind of got a little crazy at work in terms of hours, in terms of just adjustments and the stuff like that. So I decided to move things around, and then Bill and Ted took a little bit longer than I intended it to, and I'm going to be starting up Darkman Marathon. That's going to be the next series of videos. It's going to be uploaded after this video. Is going to be just a ton of Darkman stuff. It's going to be reviews of all 3 Darkman movies and the unaired television pilot. And after that, there's some random stuff that I have planned leading up to October. A review of the film Becky, which I actually did see recently. I liked it. Had some problems with it, but I'll save those for the review. But yeah, initially I was going to do a bunch of Stephen King movies. I think I'm still going to do them, but I'm going to probably cut the list in half and do stuff like, limit myself to like Carrie, The Shining, Doctor Sleep, and maybe a couple others. But yeah, this is the 4K release of Doctor Sleep. And then I also got Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It was a part of the same deal with getting Halloween, Doctor Sleep, and it was Halloween, Doctor Sleep. Did I get another one in that with that combo? No, it was just Halloween, Doctor Sleep, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And it was just a good deal to get all these 4K releases for pretty cheap, so from the same seller. So I decided to jump on that deal. The rest are just regular Blu-Rays. I got one DVD here in the mix, but that's because I forgot to sort it out. Here we have a gift. This is a gift from Mike. Mike M, a really good friend of mine. He reminded me that he decided to pick up Tombstone for me on Blu-ray. I only had it on DVD, and this is one of my favorite westerns, and I really love this film. I think it's an excellent movie. It's a great movie. It's a great film. I know I'm repeating myself, but forgive me. I've been a busy boy. I definitely have had a lot of hours at work, so let's just say that my energy levels are not at optimal levels. That's why I'm just repeating so many words over and over again. But anyway, huge shout out goes to Mike M for sending me Tombstone. Actually, looks really good. It's a definite upgrade over the DVD. Speaking of DVDs, might as well show this random DVD. The Banana Splits movie. I got it because it was really cheap. It was like less than $3 brand new at Walmart. So I was like, sure, we'll give that one a shot. I mean, why not? Here we have Dead Ringers, David Cronenberg's Dead Ringers, the collector's edition from Scream Factory. Now, this is actually this isn't the actual case that this originally came in. I put this in a case for another movie that had 2 discs because I got this in a different format, which I mean in terms of how the discs were housed. And I will explain that soon enough. But I've actually never seen Dead Ringers. I've seen the trailer. I know what it's about, but I've never actually seen it. So I'm curious about giving that a watch, especially for David Cronenberg and Jeremy Irons and all that. Here we have the Saw 8 film collection. It was a Walmart deal. It was only like $14 or something. This has all of the Saw films. The reason why this is such a bulky, heavy set is because it also includes the DVD copies. Why? who even uses the DVD copies anymore? Let's be perfectly honest. I mean, there are some people that, I mean, hey, I'm fine with DVD copies when it comes to like Screen Factory releases, like especially out of print ones, like Deadly Eyes, which I was uh, really blessed to have gotten sent to me as a gift by Jonathan quite a long time ago. But it's just not necessary, especially with these sets where they don't even include any of the features. It's just bare bones. The transfers are good, and it also includes Jigsaw, so I don't have to get Jigsaw. I'm glad that it includes that, and I don't have to like go out and try to buy Jigsaw. I'm glad that it includes that one in there. I'm not gonna make any guarantees about reviewing this for Halloween, because that's like 8 movies. But I'm glad I have them on Blu-ray though, because I only had them on DVD previously. But I'm probably gonna keep my DVDs because they have special features, and for some reason Lionsgate's a bunch of lazy assholes and didn't even port over any of the features from the DVD releases. Speaking of Lionsgate, they brought back the Vestron Collector's Series, and they cut the price in half. So I picked these up at Walmart and for like $12.99 each. And so we have Shivers, for another film for the David Cronenberg collection, and then Little Monsters. I don't remember liking this film that much last time I saw it, but this has a decent amount of features, and I wanted to pick this up just for those alone. But yeah, I'm willing to give this another shot someday. But definitely glad to get these two for the collection. Check your Walmart for those. And speaking of Walmart, I also got these because it was another good deal. 3 films for like $12.99 or something. The Rob Zombie Trilogy, House of a Thousand Corpses, The Devil's Rejects, and 3 from Hell. Now, I've heard that these are, at least the first 2, are Rob Zombie's finest hours. And I've had, except for House of a Thousand Corpses, I haven't seen any of these other ones. I've actually never seen The Devil's Rejects, haven't seen 3 from Hell, and this actually does include all of the films on their own separate discs. So it doesn't, there's none of that bullshit where it's all in one disc. So if you're worried about that set not having them on separate discs, they got them on separate discs. And got a few more here. We got Space Hunter, Adventures in the Forbidden Zone, Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren and Frank Langella. This, honestly, I'd probably say this is a guilty pleasure of mine. I grew up watching this. I watched this more than I ever watched any He-Man cartoons. It's probably the first thing I ever saw. Well, it's not really the first thing I saw Dolph Lundgren in because, you know, I saw him in Rocky IV and I saw him in this. And I liked him in this and Rocky IV, and then I thought Dolph Lundgren would be good in other movies, and then I decided, hey, you know what? The first Dolph Lundgren movie I'm gonna choose to watch after Masters of the Universe and Rocky IV, Cover Up. Yeah, let's watch that movie, and then soured me on Dolph Lundgren for years. And that movie really does suck. They should just cover up the existence of that movie because it's straight up garbage. The Blues Brothers Blu-ray. It was super cheap at Target. I didn't want to wait for the 4K release in terms of waiting for Amazon to get the whatever copy in stock, so I decided to just pick it up there. And to be perfectly honest, this looks fantastic. This transfer is really good. I don't know how much better the 4K release is going to be. And got the box set of Quantum Leap, the complete series. I've seen a few episodes of this back in the day. I didn't mind it. Looks like it'd be fun. And Mill Creek honestly is up their game with their box sets. They do a pretty dang good job with their transfers. And I checked out a couple episodes to see what they look like. They look really good. This is the best the show has ever looked. That being said, there's no features. That's where Mill Creek tends to be a letdown in that regard. But their releases of Quantum Leap, Miami Vice, and Knight Rider, I definitely recommend. I think they did Airwolf as well, and I think that's another good one. I think they did That 70s Show, and I'd like to pick that up because I actually, Used to watch that 70s show quite a bit on TV when I had just basic cable, because like what else was there to watch sometimes? But I mean, there's worse things to watch than that 70s show, that's for sure. And then we have Arrow Video's 4K box set of Flash Gordon. This set is gorgeous. I love this movie. It's not even a guilty pleasure to me. I just straight up love this film. It's supposed to be campy. It's supposed to be cheap, like a B movie. So any of the complaints in that regard, that's all done intentionally. This has a really gorgeous looking booklet with some photos and essays. You have a movie poster. You also have, of course, the case that the discs come in, and this particular set, there's like some lobby cards. Yeah, there's some lobby cards here, reproductions of what lobby cards. Oh, cool! This one actually has the artwork by. They have some artwork on the back like that, which is really cool. And it's so great to see Flash get the treatment that I personally feel Flash Gordon deserves as a cult film. So, Arrow just outdid themselves here. The film looks better than ever. It's stunning. This film looks great in 4K. And then it also includes a bonus disc with the documentary Life After Flash, which I actually haven't seen. That I'm looking forward to, that talks about Sam J. Jones. And this has like a ton of features. Has the archival audio commentaries. It's got an archival documentary in the making of the movie, archival interviews with people, new 4K remaster. So if you're a fan of Flash Gordon, it's definitely worth upgrading. There's a regular Blu-ray edition as well. So if you don't want to do the 4K, or you don't have a 4K player, and I would highly recommend it if you're a fan of the movie. And I'm super psyched that Arrow's also going to be doing David Lynch's Dune. I hope that's one of their announcements they're going to make pretty soon, because I know the new Dune is going to be coming out this December, so it would be perfect timing for David Lynch's Dune to be coming out in 4K by Arrow Video. I'm just salivating at the thought of a 4K box set of Dune by Arrow. I cannot wait. That film is going to look so good. And the rest of the stuff here is mostly my Severin haul, my Severin order from way back when, and some Criterion stuff. Now I think I might have shown some of these Criterion Blu-rays that I'm going to show at the end of this video, at the end of this particular update before, but you know, if it's deja vu, like I said earlier in the video, I apologize. So here we have the first of the Severin films I got, Gwendolyn. Perils in the Land of the Yik Yak, or whatever. This is not really soft core. This is a straight up porno action adventure movie. I mean, look at this cover. But this has a lot of features on it. And when I ordered this, I got a discount on this because they said it was a damaged slipcover. Well, I think what happened was, since there were so many delays and so many orders that came in with their sale that they had fairly recently, that they just wound up with enough time to be able to ship out completely brand new, good quality slips, because this isn't damaged at all. Like, this is in pristine condition. So, you know, hey, good on them. Also got Wax Mask, the film that Dario Argento, I think, produced. Been curious about this one. The concept looked interesting. No, this is not the Terminator. This cover makes you think it's the Terminator, though. I mean, look at this shit. It looks like the fucking endoskeleton. Yeah, wax mask, if I can speak. Blood on Satan's Claw. This is one of the more expensive Severin releases. This one, I think, was pretty limited in terms of quantity. Remastered in 4K, a bunch of different features. Says it's one of the best British horror films of the 70s from Joe Dante himself, so I'll give it a shot someday. The Uncanny. This film is nuts. Just really crazy nuts. I remember seeing the trailer for this, and I was like, I gotta see this movie. It's like a revenge film featuring, a cat. Yeah. This is everything that Strays was not and could, honestly hoped it would be, but could not even come close to being. So the Uncanny. Saint Bernard. This is directed by Gabe Bartalos, who's an effects guy. I got this because I saw the trailer for this and it looked fucking batshit insane, and it had recommendations by Frank Henenlotter, who I am a big fan of. So if Frank Henenlotter is going to go out of his way to say that this film is unique and one of a kind, yeah, I want to give it a watch for sure. So Saint Bernard. This is one of the bigger orders that I made from any studio or company. And the reason why I did it, I got so many from the sale, is it was a good deal. And through this sale, I basically have got pretty much every film from Severin that I really wanted. So if there's another sale or whatever, I don't even have to spend that much. So Dark Waters. This is one of the films I think was on the 101 Most Unheralded Horror Films list from Fangoria. Skinner with Ted Raimi. This is the uncut version, which I've heard is notoriously gory. And I'm curious about it just for that, for sure. But I've always been curious about this one. Skinner with Ted Raimi. And Tracy Lords and Ricky Lake and this movie, this infamous film. Speaking of infamous, Lost Soul, the doomed journey of Richard Stanley's Island of Dr. Moreau, the making of and the unmaking of the infamous Island of Dr. Moreau film from the 90s. Boys Next Door with Maxwell Caulfield and Charlie Sheen. This is definitely the definitive release of this movie. It's got a ton of features on it and a new transfer as well. So The Boys Next Door. Wild Beasts. Look like it might be a fun monster movie, but with like real life animals and just craziness. And Now the Screaming Starts. I think it's another Amicus horror anthology, or maybe it isn't Amicus, but it's definitely in the vein of that. So, and Now the Screaming Starts. The Devil's Reign, crazy 70s gonzo movie with some really good makeup effects by Tom Berman, and one of the weirdest movies that William Shatner's ever been a part of. And Kathy's Curse, a Conexploitation cult classic. So, yeah, it's a fair number of Severin films. And these Criterion Blu-Rays, Rosemary's Baby, Fantastic Planet, which is a fantastic animated film. It looks really good. I've always been captivated and fascinated by this one. Night of the Living Dead. I honestly am not a super big fan of this one, but I wanted it for the collection and got a good deal on it. Features alone will probably be interesting. I honestly like the remake more. Sue me. I think this is a tad bit overrated. I don't think it's the greatest. I don't think it's one of the greatest horror films. I don't think it's one of the best zombie movies. I don't even think it's one of Romero's best films. I think this movie, for the time, it was really groundbreaking. And if we're talking about one of the most revolutionary horror films, then yes, this definitely does fit that bill. But when we're talking about like classic films, Night of the Living Dead, the original, isn't one that really comes to mind for me. I'm sorry. Repo Man, crazy movie by Alex Cox that features Emilio Estevez in one of his best roles. And then we got some more Criterion releases. Now, these are not in Criterion cases. That's why I was able to get such a good deal on these. I got these for like $12, along with Dead Ringers, which I only got for $8. And you can see how good of a deal that was because I just used an old case and found a case for them. But these were like $12 for Criterion Blu-rays. Like, how you would pass that up? And I just went in on Criterion's website and I just bought some Criterion cases straight from Criterion. So they will still be put in cases eventually. But anyway, here we have Don't Look Now, Naked Lunch, The Brood, and Blowout. John Travolta and Nancy Allen. Brian De Palma film. So yeah, I mean, I couldn't pass that up. I mean, Criterion Blu-rays for like $12. It's each. It's just a steal. Anyway, that's it. That's it for this update video. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, I will see you later.